again, people. Hey, this is a little interesting scenario here. So it's saying killers set traps for young Queensland officers. I guess if they were old officers, it'd be different. And I don't know. I get it's not a hate crime. Pretty soon, police officers will be a hate crime if you do anything to them. But anyway, let's take a look at this report because there's some interesting things about here. And let's go.
3 days on at the remote property where horror and heroism collided, the hunt for forensic evidence finally begins. Delayed until the bomb squad could sweep the home for booby traps.
So, it looks like, from the article, so you got an idea, because they're kind of taking a while to get to it, is this ex-school teacher was like, I want to get away from government, leave us alone, don't come out here. And somehow the government went out there, and I forgot why, because I watched this a few days ago, I think, and I haven't done it yet. So let's see.
As we're grieving.
Oh, look, there's a nice female police chief. I'm sure she was promoted because she did such a great job on the job. Yeah.
Everyone wants many answers very, very quickly. But we have to be extraordinarily thorough.
Grief will be long-lasting for the
So evidently they got the puppies and the other girl, the two that got killed.
families of murdered constables.
Look at this girl. She couldn't fight her way out of a wet paper bag. This guy's arms look like freaking noodles. What? That's probably the max weight he can lift is those two puppies. Rick, why are you picking? Whatever. We gotta have people that make them feel good. Feelings now.
Matthew Arnold and Rachel McCrow.
The chat with the families was some of the most difficult chats you can have. They wanted me to know Rachel and Matt not just as police officers, but what they were like as children growing up and who they were.
This is how government makes them more important victims than other victims. Every day people are killed. And when they do press releases, they're like, yeah, the victim is blah, blah, blah. Our thoughts and prayers go out to the family, blah, blah, blah. But when it's government, somehow they're special and we have to pull on the emotional strings because they're so much more important than the regular pesky citizens.
As people. Even some laughs as they remembered their loved ones and some of the quirky things they did in life.
Specialist investigators.
Oh, look, she has a ponytail.
And some of
Aw, ain't that cute? Ponytail, please.
the quirky things they did in life.
Specialist investigators examining how long the train's new police were coming to the compound. This lonely dirt road was the only way in of Nathaniel, Gareth and Stacey.
I like it. You only got one way in. I like it.
Train sovereign state, as they called it.
Sovereign state. Meaning they're tired of the government up your ass 24/7, always trying to tell you what you can and can't do, taking your money, taxing you, impeding on any and all freedoms so government can have more control. That's what sovereign means now. Suddenly it's a bad word because you don't want government up your ass.
Remote, isolated and heavily fortified so they could protect it with deadly, murderous force.
Heavily fortified? What, did they plant trees? Is that their fortification?
Driveway barricades were designed to slow a vehicle's path with
So what? Maybe they don't want people speeding.
surveillance cameras alerting the Train brothers a car was coming.
Maybe they don't want to get robbed. Maybe they don't think people ought to be coming on their property. No. It's all nefarious because they killed the cops, and now we can switch the narrative on why they did this.
7 News can reveal 2 foxholes were concealed under a mound of scrub with living quarters dug into the ground, including a campfire. Gareth and Nathaniel Train lay prone in full camouflage with rifles trained on constables.
Good for them. Going out fighting. I like it. Not that I'm encouraging violence, but I like it.
Matthew Arnold and Rachel McCrow. Matthew was shot as he stepped over a wire fence. Rachel was wounded in the leg.
How did they get on this property, these two outstanding physical specimens of enforcers? What was the reason, and how did they get through all this to get here? What, did they just stumble? Did they accidentally take a wrong turn? Why only 2 people if they knew all this would go up there?
Matthew was shot as he stepped over a wire fence. Rachel was wounded in the leg, making her own tourniquet. Keely Bruff dived for cover in long grass,
Shocking. Female dive for cover.
while Randall Kirk's car was peppered with bullets as it screamed out of the property to call for help. One brother, likely Gareth, seized Matthew's Glock, used it to kill Rachel, stole their police radios to monitor movements, and set fire to their car into the scrub, trying to flush out Keely. Hearing the gunfire, then seeing smoke rise, Alan Dare and Vic Lewis from neighbouring properties drove to the front of the Trains property. Alan.
So they hear gunfire and they drive over there. Are they driving over to help them fight, or are they just being nosy, or they want to help government? Or did they call government?
Had called 000 by the time he got out of the car. That's when he was shot, collapsing as he handed his phone to Vic, who fled, collecting Alan's wife Kerry from her home and meeting police. Alan, never to know who was really living next door. Neither did those close to them.
Look at this property. Maybe that's why they didn't want to know who lived next door. What the hell? All right, I digress.
It was a shock to the system that how can somebody that's we've known as a teacher, as a friend of the family.
Oh, so they did know him, a teacher and a friend of the family.
What made her tick? What made that switch flip? What happened?
Maybe government, and seeing government, and paying taxes, and no freedom, and tired of living as a slave. It's all coming.
Twisted tale of the conspiracy theorists said to be locked in a love triangle.
Oh, love triangle. What's wrong with that? Maybe they were Mormon.
Fooling. Stacey left her marriage to Nathaniel to take up with his older brother Gareth. The mysterious off-the-grid trio worked in the education system.
This is the great government. So when they kill government, they're a big, mean, bad conspiracy. But when we do backgrounds and we give them all your children to teach, government is great and you should trust us. Perfect.
In regional Queensland and New South Wales, a state where Nathaniel held a gun licence. Queensland Police insist appropriate risk assessments were done with the information at hand.
There were no issues, no concerns about...
Look at all her medals. Damn, she must have been really good. That was for writing the most tickets. That was for losing her earring under the chief's desk. That one was for whatever.
about the officers going to that address.
Intelligence agencies also making inquiries. ASIO is monitoring conspiracy websites where the actions of the three killers are being praised.
Security agencies are actively considering.
Another woman, Home Affairs Minister, running a country on feelings and opening the borders, and guns are scary and we need control and we need rules and it's for the children.
The implications of this matter for the national security of our country.
Here we go, national security.
Tragedy like this might be prevented.
Yeah, if we just take all your guns if we're in charge. Remember, people, and I've said this 1,000 times, here in the U.S., the government tells us how they can keep us safe, yet in government-controlled facilities like every prison in this country, no guns are allowed, no weapons, no rights, no privacy. You're allowed to be searched at any time. You're controlled on what you eat and what you have access to, all controlled by the government, are the most violent and segregated and weapon-heavy places on the planet. And yet idiots keep falling for, oh yeah, we'll keep you safe. Just look how successful we were at prisons where we have 1,000% control. And now we're fooling you idiots into thinking if you give us more control, you can be safe like in prison.
News understands that the coroner did visit the crime scene today because he wanted to walk through it himself, to feel it, to experience exactly what that crime scene was like. He wanted to get a feel of the temperature, the conditions there. He also wanted to make sure that he gave instructions to those investigators who are on the ground to make sure they get everything that he needs to make a thorough finding at the end of all of this.
I'm not sure what the coroner needs to go out there to figure out a shooting. What does he need a thorough finding? We have people that live there that shot and killed other people. What is the findings he's looking for? Is there an escapee that we're looking for? Is there some sort of whatever? I got no problem with this. People are fed up, and you know what? These guys are patriots, and one man's patriot is usually a government's terrorist. When government starts defining terrorists, you know that whoever they're defining as terrorists is threatening their power and control, and that's why the government starts labeling them as terrorists.
In Chinchilla.
All right, well, in that there, trouble in Australia. Gun control. They gave up all their guns, and they want more. The government still isn't happy. Y'all have a good one.